I'll turn it over to Seph, and he can give you a sense of where we are and where we're going.
Thanks, John. So one of the things I want to talk about first tonight is, I saw it's on the flyer that you guys received in your handbook, and it's the question, what is ABA? And this is my favorite question to talk about because I think there's a lot of, I ask this question on every interview. We're doing a lot of recruiting right now, and every person that I interview, I ask them, how would you explain ABA to a parent? And to me, or that, for that matter, to a teacher, somebody who's never heard of ABA and doesn't really understand what it means. So to me, that's one of the most important questions that we ask. And I like to break it down into three different reasons. So, you can talk about what is ABA, but I like to talk about why does ABA work? Why is it something that we push, and why is it something that the medical community says that we need to have and that everyone tells you need it? But we need to think about why does it work, all right? So there's really three main reasons why ABA works, okay? The first reason that ABA works is that it's a systematic approach. Now, what do I mean when I say systematic? Basically what I'm saying is that we take really big skills and we break them down into very manageable pieces, right? So let's take the example of imitation, and let's break that down. So I could teach you guys how to change the oil in a car through imitation, because everyone in this room has what's called generalized imitation, meaning that if I say do this, you all can do that, right? So I could take you out to a car with two sets of cars, two sets of materials to change the oil in a car, and I could be over here with my car and you could be over there with your car. Without saying a word, with enough repetition over time, I could teach you how to change the oil in your car, right? But now if I'm going to work with a 3-year-old who doesn't have generalized imitation, am I going to take them out to the car and try to teach them imitation with the car? No, I'm going to take that really big skill, generalized imitation, I'm going to break it down into very, very manageable pieces, and I'm going to use that first skill of do this, right? And in a systematic way, again, remember, it's systematic. In a systematic way, I'm going to teach them to do this when I do this, right? So I may start with hand over hand, right? And when I know that they can do that reliably with hand over hand guidance, I'm going to move my prompt to the wrist. When I know that they can do it with the wrist, I know I'm going to move it to the forearm and to the elbow. And eventually, the student's doing this when I do this independently, right? And then I'm going to make it even more difficult. And so now we're going to say do this, right? And then all the way up to we're doing the Macarena, right? Whatever. And then eventually we're at the point where we can go out to the car and I can teach them how to change the oil. We can learn all types of new skills through that foundation skill of imitation, right? So it's systematic in its approach, right? We do things in a very specific way for a very specific reason. The second reason, and the second main reason that ABA works, is that it's data-based. We collect data on everything we do. Now, I'm a board-certified behavior analyst, and I have a group of behavior analysts. And when we get together, we like to talk about data, right? And when non-behavior analysts are around, they don't like to hear about the data so much. But everything we do, we're making decisions based on data. So when we're running that program of do this, right, we're going to have a data sheet right next to us, and we're going to collect data. So he got it right, wrong, right. At the end of the day, I have a percentage of correct responses, right? And over time, I can put those pieces of data on a graph, and it can show me that the student's making progress. And I use that data to make a decision about when I'm going to move my prompt from this place to this place. I use that decision when I'm going to change my skill from this to this, right? When I'm going to make it more and more systematic. I'm using that data to make my decision. I'm also going to use that data to let me know when my intervention isn't working. So if the student I'm working with isn't making progress, well, we need to make a change to the program because the prompting hierarchy that I talked about, that's not appropriate. Or something about the reinforcement system that I'm working, that's not working. Something's not working about the program, and the data is what tells me that. So, when I'm working with teachers or when I'm working with parents and there's a resistance, there's often a resistance to data collection, right? Because it's something new. It's one more thing that I'm asking them to do. And they often don't see why would I be asking them to collect the data? But once you start to make your programmatic decisions based on data, you quickly become aware of why it's so important. Because it really does illuminate. It shows you it shows you that if it's working, and it'll tell you why it's working or why it's not working. All right, now the third reason that ABA works this is kind of like the key to life. This is the secret to life. It's from a behavior analyst perspective, okay? It works because it's simple, right? It's simple. Now, we could, I got a master's degree in applied behavior analysis, and I could talk for a really long time about it and really big words and all of this stuff. But the main underpinnings, the real reason why ABA works is a very, very simple philosophy, all right? And here it is. When you see a student doing something that you like, you follow it with something that they like. And because you followed it with something that they like, the thing that you like, they'll do it again, right? Now let's use an example, because I'm really big into examples. But let's use an example. Who in this room, raise your hand if when you were a kid you had to do chores? Everybody needs to raise, come on now. You didn't have to do chores? Everybody had to do chores, right? Now, raise your hand if you got paid to do your chores. You got paid? You got paid. Wow, okay, so a couple people got paid to do chores. All right, so I didn't get paid to do my chores. I just had to do them, right? So let's say that one day I get home from school and I'm just feeling really ambitious, right? So I decide I'm going to do all of my chores. I'm going to do all of my brother's chores. I'm going to clean, I'm going to dust the blinds. Like I'm going to get down deep and clean the entire house, right? And my parents get home from work and they say, wow, Seph, you cleaned, wow, this is so great. Here's $20. Am I more likely to do that again or less likely? No. I'm more likely to do it again. That's ABA. You can take that principle and you can apply it to every single behavior that you're thinking about. Whether you're thinking about increasing skills, whether you're thinking about decreasing a negative behavior, right? Every single thing that a student does, you can break it down into those pieces. When they're doing something that you want to see more of, you follow it with something that they like. It doesn't have to be the $20 bills. It would break the bank, right? But it can, with our kids, it can be tickles, it can be high fives, it can be bubbles, it can be stickers, it can be a slice of pizza. All kinds of things can be what we call reinforcers. And those are the things that are going to make what you want to see happen more often, right? By following it. So when you see something good, you give them something good. And because you're doing that, they're going to be more likely to do it again, right? That's the main reason why ABA works. And it's the secret of life. Really it is. You can apply it to, you don't have to just think about that with your kids. Think about it with your friends, your spouses, everybody. It really works. It really works very well. Okay, so that's kind of my spiel on ABA. Does anybody have any questions about kind of why ABA works in general? Oh, that's good. I did a good job. So basically you can take all of those things that I just talked about. You can apply it in a lot of different ways. We can do things in a very discrete, we can do discrete trials. Everybody heard of discrete trials? That's one way of using the principles of applied behavior analysis, but there's a lot of different ways that these principles can be used. All of the examples I just gave, those are ways of using applied behavior analysis, right? We can apply those things to how we line children up and get them ready to line up to go to the cafeteria, or how we get them ready to get on the bus, or how they're learning to brush their teeth, or how they're learning to wash their hands, or pretty much anything about a student's day. We can use these principles of applied behavior analysis to help our instruction and help our interventions. All right? Now I'd like to talk to you a little bit about kind of where we are this year, the progress we've made with the Autism and Aba programming, and kind of the next steps of where we're headed next year. One of the things I'm most excited about is, I think I said this at the SpedPac meeting at the beginning of the year, maybe it's the end of the year last year, that we were going to be putting together a cohort for board-certified behavior analysts, and we have successfully done that. We have a 20-member cohort. We've partnered with Elms College, and 20 of our teachers and autism strand specialists are right now enrolled in an Elms College BCBA program. So we're going to have 20 additional board-certified behavior analysts within the next 3 years within Boston Public Schools. So these are folks already working in our schools. So this is something that's really exciting. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this, and it's really going to help inform instruction, really going to help our intervention a lot. So that's something I'm really excited about that we've done this year. We're hoping to put together a second cohort that will be starting in the fall. So it could end up being about 40 additional BCBAs in the district within the next 3 years, which is pretty cool. Another thing that we started this year was what we're calling a structured site visit. One of the biggest pieces of feedback I got from principals last school year was, Seph, what are you looking for in an autism classroom, in a substantially separate autism classroom? What are the characteristics that you look for in a high quality autism classroom? And so what we've done is we put together a list of 15 characteristics that we go and we look at. We look at every single classroom in the district, and we have a uniform way that we're looking at them. So we have these 15 characteristics, and we're going through with the principals involved in these site visits and collaborating with them to take a very specific look at all of these characteristics within each one of the classrooms. And so then we provide written feedback to the classrooms, and we've actually managed to see every classroom in the district once this year, and we're working on our second round of site visits now. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from the principals, from the classroom teachers, from the strand specialists. It's been a really informative practice, and I'm excited that next year we're actually hoping to double that and get to every site 4 times. Now, my colleagues say I'm a little crazy because it was really, really, really challenging to get to every site twice this year. But given the feedback that I've gotten from folks who have participated in these site visits, I think it's worth it to go back and really increase the number of times that we're going to be going to these sites. Another thing that we've done over the past couple of years is we've partnered with the New England Center for Children. They've been very flexible with us and to help us to develop a system that's going to work within Boston. And they have a program, it's called the ACE, it stands for the Autism Curriculum Encyclopedia. Are you guys familiar with the ACE? A couple of people are familiar. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the ACE, and I'm going to try not to talk too long because I know there's a number of other speakers that need to go. But the ACE is a really, really great tool. It's a web-based tool that's got 3 components, and everything it's on the web. So it's got 3 components. The first one is the assessment. So it's got the core skills assessment, where we go in and we look at very specific skill deficits for children with autism. And then we put all of that data back into that web-based tool. And then the ACE actually tells us what skills we should be targeting. So it helps us identify sets of skills that we should target for individual students, right? And it allows us then to link to the second component of the tool, which is the curriculum. So the New England Center for Children has been around for a very long time, and they've developed thousands of curriculum sheets, and every one of those curriculum sheets is available within the ACE, right? So we actually are able to take those curriculum sheets, individualize them within the web-based tool, and make them specific to our students. So meaning, we might change the reinforcement system, the schedule of reinforcement. We might change that prompting hierarchy that I talked about. We might change some of the very specific things that we're actually targeting within that skill. So we individualize that for the student within that web-based tool, and then it allows us to print out a data sheet, or we can even collect data online. But we use that, we take the data, and it actually puts all of that data. Am I missing something? We're okay? All right. Okay. So it allows us to take that data and it actually graphs it for us right on the computer. They have an iPad app, so we can actually pull up the program sheet, review it on the iPad, then go right into the data collection page, collect the data on the iPad, and it'll graph it live. So that I can sit in central office and I can go into the ACE and find out what's happening at the Higginson-Lewis with your student. I can find out what data is being collected right now on any student. Or I can look at the Higginson-Lewis as a whole, right? It's a really great tool. We're really excited about that. We're actually going, so right now we have that at 4 or 5 schools, and next year we're going to have that at every substantially separate strand in the district, which is very exciting. Yeah, I see a hand up. It's called the ACE, Autism Curriculum Encyclopedia, and it's through the New England Center for Children. All right? So we're really excited about that for next year as well. Let's see, what else have we got going? We're going to continue. One other thing we've done this year is we've really, like I said in the beginning, we've been working really hard at our recruiting efforts. We do I've been interviewing all the time, and we've actually, we've grown our staff. Right now I think we're at about 45 ABA specialists. Those are the folks who deliver the ABA services. we have 45 that work within the district, so 45 ABA specialists who work for Boston Public Schools. At the beginning of next year, we're planning to have 70 ABA specialists. So that's really exciting for me as well. At the beginning of this school year, we had 3 program directors for ABA. Those are our BCBA level program directors. They work right with me. They're part of my team. Now we have, Monday we're starting our 5th program director. And then we're hoping to hire 2 more over the summer. So meaning we're going from a staff of about 25 ABA specialists and 3 program directors to 70 ABA specialists and 7 program directors by next year. So we're growing really quickly. We're making a lot of, we're only hiring very high quality folks. There's folks who are required to have a bachelor's degree and experience in autism and ABA. So we're not just hiring people and you know, hoping that they can do the work. We're also putting together a very high quality professional development program. This year we had a 10-course series that was offered across the course of the school year. We had a group of about 20 teachers from all across the district. Most of them work within the autism strands, but a number of them work in other schools as well. The professional development was open to anyone in the district, and we've had really good response with that. So, yep.
Question, will there be any type of parent education?
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. The question was, for anybody who didn't hear it, she asked about parent education or parent sessions or things like that. We actually have that. We have it in the district right now. And we've had very, very, very low turnout. So those of you who are on the camera, watching from home, we do have a parent information series that is available to everyone in the district. Those are delivered by our program directors. So we have 3 topics that we address: communication, social skills, and problem behavior. And so part of those sessions are, you know, like I said, the program directors, those are BCBAs, and they are the ones who actually deliver those sessions. And they're available after those sessions to stay and talk about problems that you're having at home and really, you know, problem solve with you. Any of you who are interested in it, I highly encourage you to go. It's almost like a one-to-one session because we have such a low turnout. Parents really have not taken advantage of this. So it is something we're going to continue to offer, and I really encourage you to go.
But also with regard to a child being serviced with ABA, is there any type of parent education component that, you know, maybe with the technician?
Oh, you're asking about consultation.
Right.
Right, so those of you if your kids have ABA services, this I don't think is very well known either. But you're encouraged to reach out to the BCBA, whoever's supervising the case. You're encouraged to reach out to those people. They will meet with you. They will talk with you on the phone. If they don't, you need to call me or email me. If you're having a hard time setting those meetings up, I want to know about it because that's something that I've expressed to all of our contractors and all of our internal workforce, that it's very important for parents to feel connected to the work. Because you guys are, like John was saying, you guys are the partners. You guys are really important to this process.
You said you guys were all going substantially separate classrooms, not inclusive classrooms?
No, the ACE program is going to be for the substantially separate programs. So we're actually hoping to, it's kind of in the works, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. We're hoping to partner with MGH, Mass General Hospital, their Aspire program, and they use the curriculum of what is it? I can't remember what it's called. They're using a really great curriculum. It's the end of the day, guys, and I'm really sorry. It's been a long day. I'll get it before the end of this presentation. But it's a really cool piece of curriculum, and I'm pretty excited about that partnership as well.
Something I teach?
No, it's not I teach. I'll remember it before the end. Yep. Yeah.
Just wondering what parents can expect for next year. Your child's getting support from an ABA person, and you're hiring a lot of new people, and there's a lot of changes. So can we expect that we're going to have the same ABA providers for our kids next year as they have this year? The company,
Yep.
with the private contractor, can we
Yep.
expect that they're going to be there next year? We're going to have a change of staffing.
What I can say is I'm going to do my very best to minimize transitions. I'm going to do my very best. And I do that every year, but I'm not going to lie to you. I guarantee you there will be changes. There will be transitions. With us hiring new folks, what I can tell you is that every time we have done a transition from a contractor to an internal provider, the response has been hands down. This has been a fantastic, fantastic change. I'm going to let you have a follow-up question, but what that process does, by moving to an internal workforce, what it does is it allows us to have a more comprehensive and cohesive approach. We have internal workforce working with an internal workforce. It allows us to really collaborate with our classroom teachers and paras and to get everybody on the same page. It's been a really effective thing, and if you want to talk to some parents who have done it, I don't know if there are any of you guys here who have experienced a transition from a contracted service provider to an internal BPS provider, but if there are, is anybody here that's...
I think it's happening to me next month.
It might be.
So I think it's going to be good.
It might be, but I'm telling you, I have very high confidence in the folks that we're bringing on. Yep.
I just feel like it would be fair if the parents could have some say if there's a change made because it's our kids, and I think we have such an investment in it. It would be good if we could have a say. And from personal experience, when I had a Boston ABA person 2 years ago, she really didn't have the experience that she needed to do a good job. It really wasn't ABA.
Yep.
It was more like an aid.
Yeah. No,
I'm not so sure and confident that switching from a private contractor to BPS is going to be a big improvement.
I can understand your hesitation and your concern. I really can. I started here 2 years ago, and I was part of the process to really make a change in the way, and that's why we had such a very small workforce in the beginning. I can tell you that we didn't have, from the time that you're talking about, we didn't have a whole lot of BCBAs. BCBAs are really the people who can, they're really the key to ABA. If you don't have somebody consulting on the case who's a BCBA, it's hard to call it ABA. And we really didn't have a lot of folks that were BCBAs back in the day when you're talking about. I'm happy to have a conversation about that, but it is a direction we're going where we are moving towards an internal workforce because it's been so much more effective for the students, for the staff, and for the families. It is, and that is the direction that we're going for the substantially separate strands. But I'm happy to have a conversation with you, and I'm also happy to talk about what that transition will look like on an individual basis. Yep.
What's going to happen with ESY and ABA services?
We're still in the process of planning ESY, like John was saying.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure out exactly who is coming to ESY, and so that we can be ready for that.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that we're going to continue to, provide everything in the same way that we're providing it during the school year, part of the IEP.
Thanks.
Yep.
What you say that you have groups of parents have been interested in, because I have not asked about it, and I don't know maybe, so how do we get to know when those are?
The parent information series have been posted on the SpedPac website. I know that we came in September to the SpedPac meeting and we talked to the group about the parent information series. We've also sent them out through the coordinators, the position that was the ETF. The flyers were supposed to be sent home to all of the families, not just families with children with autism, but we had them translated into a lot of different languages and sent home in a lot of different ways. So I apologize if you did not receive a copy of that, but we were here at this meeting in September, and we did present about the parent information series.
When do you usually have it?
It's a moving target. So what we've done is we've tried to hit every zone of the district, East Zone, West Zone, and North Zone, and so we've had 3 consecutive sessions. So really, I don't know the dates off the top of my head, but we've had 3 sessions of each different topic. Okay, so I know that there's still a few. There's one May 14th. Okay, but the information is on the SpedPac website. Okay. Other questions? Oh, yep.
So what do you do with my time back in January? I didn't even actually,
Yeah.
did have an expertise in ABA services or
You should, that's a very specific question. You should fill out a SpedPac concern form, or you can call my office directly.
I've been calling, trying to get in contact with you, and I haven't heard back.
Okay, I'd be happy to speak with you this evening. Any other questions?
I just have a question. You said that the internal service, the transition one, that it's been very effective and it's, you know, how do you measure that? I haven't really heard, I have the experience of my son's, and her son and I go to the same school, and mine goes to the same school, and we haven't had like great experience of the person who's, delivers the service, doesn't come to the IEP meeting.
Okay.
I mean, there's no communication. I don't know how my son's doing now, as opposed to when we had, April, who was working with my son before.
Okay.
How do you do that, more effective?
Well, most of the parents that have talked to me about the transition have given me good feedback. You're the first person that I've heard negative feedback, so I'd really like to hear more about what you have to say about it.
I would like to talk to you more afterwards, but I haven't
Great.
felt that it's been helpful as the previous person.
Okay. Other questions? All right, thank you guys. Oh,
Did you have a question? Okay, all right.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.